Hello, everybody. So, we're gonna be talking about seed starting and seed starting tips. We're talking about seed starting tips, how to get your seeds going. You can get your seeds going in no time by following these simple tips. So, as you guys can see, I started my seeds. These are pepper seeds. So I started them more than a week ago. So what I'm trying to do is get them going so that um, we are able to get our seedlings in time for the start of the season. So we have to get our seeds going. These are peppers. Peppers take a long time. They take about 10 weeks for them to get to the stage where they are going to be able to be transplanted into the garden. So we have to start early. So I also planted some garden egg. You can see the garden eggs over here. Garden eggs over here. So I have some garden eggs that I put over here. This is the earliest I've ever started garden eggs. But I have some peppers. The peppers take a long time. These ones I planted about 10 days ago. I added a few of them about 4 or 5 days ago. Same with these over here. 4 or 5 days ago. The garden eggs are already coming out because they germinate a lot faster than these. So my goal is to be able to get enough of the garden eggs for me to be able to get my seedlings going, and by May I should be able to have these out, and by June I should be able to get some garden eggs for my garden. So that is the plan for this year, and that's why I'm starting them early. So today we're going to talk about seed starting tips and some of the various ways that you can improve your seedlings and be able to get them going and get them perfectly germination, get a perfect germination rate by following some simple tips that's gonna help you be able to do that. So the first thing you're gonna need is you're gonna need some sterile seed starting mix. Don't use soil if you've never started seeds already. Don't use garden soil. Garden soil might have some pathogens and insects and pests that might destroy your seedlings. Seedlings are very delicate, so you want to start with a seed starting mix. So I have a seed starting mix that I used over here. Um, I just want to show you guys. You can get a seed starting mix like this. You can get a seed starting mix like this. Or you can make your own seed starting mix. I usually make my own seed starting mix. And I just got that just to show you guys that you can get a seed starting mix back like that to start your seeds. I usually make my own seed starting mix. It's very easy to do. I have a few videos. If you want to check out my videos, you can see some of my videos last year and the previous years on how you can make seed starting mix and how you can make potting mix. So you have your seed starting mix. You want to make sure that the seed starting mix is nice and moist, and then you need a tray. You can get a tray. You can use a container. Like I said before, there are so many different things that you can use to start your seeds. You can use egg cartons like these. You can use egg cartons like this. All you need to do is you can just make a single hole in the middle and then put your seed starting mix on it, and then you plant it. You can use solo cups like this to start your start your seeds, and you can also use aluminum foil, aluminum pan like this. You can use aluminum pan like this, even the ones that you've used. If you had a party or you have the Super Bowl party, or you have the party and you have some pans. All you need to do is just clean them up, and then you're gonna be able to use them to start your seeds. You want to make sure that you have holes at the bottom. If you're gonna do a double tray method, where you have water at the bottom and then the seeds on top, and the seeds and the seed starting mix on top, then you can do that also. But so the second thing is container. So you can also use regular trays. I don't have them with me right here. I have them in my greenhouse over there. I didn't bring them over here to show you, but I'm sure you guys have seen the regular either 72 cell trays or 12 cell trays. This is a 40 cell tray. Each of them has 40 slots or 40 cells that you can plant your seeds in them. And the good thing with this one is it's very durable. Thank you for the likes. Thank you guys for the likes. If you're liking the live, please smash the like button, share the live. So the good thing with this is it has a reservoir at the bottom. Let me show you. It has a reservoir at the bottom where you have your water in there, and so it's gonna wick the water to the top. All you need to do is check it in every couple of days, especially if it's in this stage like this. In a stage like this, you don't have to check it that often because it's still trying to germinate. So these ones are gonna take a lot longer for them to start using the water you have in there. So for in the situation where you have something like this, that the leaves have started coming out, it started producing more leaves, then you want to check it maybe every 4 or 5 days, just to make sure there's water underneath. If the water dries up, you can just add more water, which is very, very nice and convenient. And this is also very sturdy, for you to be able to at least carry around and also stack it. It comes with a grow light. Another thing that you're gonna need for better germination and better growth of your seedlings is grow light. So you can get a set like these that comes with a grow light. Let me show you guys. It comes with a grow lights with them and a dome that goes on top of it like that. So this is a complete dome. You can regulate the humidity in there by opening this and closing it. So it comes with two grow lights right there, and this is a complete set. Which is you can easily do. Both of them are they come together in one set. I have it in the link below, and I have it in the if you guys are interested in something like this. But you don't have to use this to start your seeds. If you have trays already, you can use the trays that you have. But I'm just showing people that want to start and haven't had the seed trays or haven't done it before. This is one of the best options for somebody, a beginner, to start your seeds. Even if you're not a beginner, for somebody that wants to a no hassle way of getting your seeds ready in no time, you want to do this. So another advantage with this is if you don't have a lot of space. Like for example, if you're doing it in a kitchen or doing it somewhere where you don't have a lot of space, you can stack them up together like this. You can stack it together like that, and you'll be able to stack 2 or 3 of them and maximize the space. The only issue with this one is that we're gonna go to the third thing that you need is the heat mat. So if you stack it like this, you're gonna have to either put a heat mat up there, or it's not gonna get that much heat. So important for another tip for starting seeds is you need a heat mat. If you're growing in a greenhouse, or the temperature is fine out there, so usually probably warmer out there. But if you're growing in the basement, you're growing inside, you want the temperature in the containers to be 70 and above for the seeds to germinate. Most seeds require the temperature to be 70 and above for them to germinate. So you want to make sure that the temperature is 70 and above, and this is what helps you with that. This is a heat mat. It maintains the heat, at least provides some heat on the seedlings for them to germinate, and that's why you want to make sure that you have those. Usually outside, when you plant your seeds outside in the spring and summer, the temperature usually goes up to like 70 or 80 degrees, and so it warms the seeds up and the seeds are able to germinate. But now that it's winter and everything is cold, you want to make sure that you have a heat mat underneath. If you have a nice hot location in your kitchen where it's usually 70 and above, you can also do that in your kitchen without a heat mat. Excuse me. But plants like peppers, garden eggs, and other plants, they require that temperature about 70 and above for them to be able to germinate and do well. So that's why we need to have some heat mats. So I have heat mats in my shop. If you guys are interested, check the link below for some of the heat mats that I have. But like I said, the heat mat helps the seeds germinate. Once the seeds germinate and they get to maybe like a stage like this, or maybe they've produced their second or third leaves, then you don't really need heat mats that much. The seedlings can continue to thrive as long as the temperature is within that 60 to 70 range. It should be fine. So the heat mat is just to help the plants germinate much faster and maintain the temperature, optimum temperature for them to do well. So another tip, like I said already, is getting a heat mat or using a heat mat to provide you some heat for your seedlings. Another tip for your seed starting is you don't want to, like I said earlier, you don't want to water the leaves, especially for seedlings like this. You don't want to water the leaves on top or spray the leaves on top. If you can, water them from the bottom. By watering them from the bottom, they're going to be able to get what they need, and the rest is going to stay down there. If you put too much water from the bottom, then the roots might get roots rot, and you might kill some of your seedlings. And by spraying some of the seedlings too with the spray and spraying on top, some leaves, depending on the type of plants that you're growing, some leaves don't like a lot of water, and so it might cause it might cause some problems for some leaves depending on what you're starting. So the best advice is to water your seedlings from the bottom as much as you can, so that way it reduces the risk of your seedlings getting any issues or diseases or pest infestation. Thanks everybody for joining. If you're liking the live, smash the like button. If you have any question, leave them below. I'll try to answer. Oh yeah. Oh sorry. Somebody said they can't hear me. Okay, can you hear me now? Tap yes on the screen if you can hear me. Can everybody hear me? Somebody said they're not hearing me. Can you guys hear me now? Can everybody hear me? Let me know in the comments if you can hear me. Can everybody hear me now? Let me know in the comments below if you can hear me. If you can hear me, let me know in the comments below so I can continue. Thanks everybody for joining. Thank you. Can you guys hear me now? Let me just check the connection again. Can you guys hear me? Can everybody hear me? I hope you guys can hear me. So, like I was saying, you need a heat mat. You need a heat mat for your seedlings to. Yeah, if you can hear me, just tap the. Let me know in the comments below if you guys can hear me. Okay, now. Sorry about that. So you need a heat mat. So if you have a heat mat, then that's fine. It's gonna heat up your seedlings, and the seedlings are gonna start germinating like you've seen over here. Seedlings are gonna be germinating. So another pro tip for seed starting is making sure that you have, you check your seeds. Make sure that the seeds that you're using are viable, because seeds lose their viability, or seeds their germination rate drop as the time goes on. So if you have seeds that are maybe longer than 4, 5, or 6 years, they might not be they might not germinate as much as the ones that you just harvested last year. So make sure that if you're buying seeds, you buy seeds, you look at the seed dates. Make sure that they are recent seeds that are going to germinate. And also you can test it. You can test your seeds by doing the paper towel method. You can test your seeds by doing the paper towel method, where you put in paper towel and then put in a nice bag, and then and within a couple of days it should start germinating in that bag. Or you can soak the seeds for a couple of hours, then plant it, and it should be able to start germinating before you. It gives you a lot faster way for you to find out if your seedlings are okay or not. So check your seeds. Make sure that the seeds are not too old, and make sure that the seeds are from a reputable person that's gonna be able to provide you with good quality seeds. So if you get good quality seeds, it's gonna ensure that your seeds germinate. So that's another way of getting your seeds ready in time. Another important tip for starting your seeds is you need to know your zone. What's your garden zone? What's the last frost date in your area? You need to know the last frost date in your area, because knowing the last frost date will tell you when you can start some of your seedlings. So like I said at the beginning, seedlings like peppers take about 10 weeks, take about 10 to 12 weeks for them to get to the stage where they can be transplanted into the garden or into containers. So once you know that your last frost date is sometime maybe in April or May or June, you want to count 10 weeks back from that period, and that's when you want to plant something like peppers and garden egg and stuff like that. Tomatoes are different. Different seedlings have different duration in terms of how soon you can get them. Tomatoes, you can get them in like 6 weeks. Tomatoes, you can get them in about 6 weeks. But it all depends on that particular seedling that you intend to plant. So usually if you look at the packet, it will tell you to plant it before the last frost date or after the last frost date. Some seedlings will tell you if you can start them indoors, like tomatoes, and then transplant them outside. And some you have to just transplant them directly into the garden. So like carrots and stuff, you can also start carrots in containers, but most people, it's much easier and economical and faster to just plant it directly into the garden. But you can also do them in trays and then transplant them. So those are some of the tips that will help you be able to start your seedlings in time and get your seedlings going. Having your seedlings and doing your seedlings, starting your own seedlings, saves you a lot of money, because you don't have to buy those seeds, those seedlings, and you'll be able to get your seedlings in time when you need them. Usually, sometimes around the beginning of the season here, when I'm looking for a particular type of seedlings, sometimes they are not available, or sometimes they're still very tiny. than what I really want. So by doing this, by starting your own seeds, you're able to get your seedlings when you want, how you want it, and usually much cheaper than buying it at the store. Any questions so far? Any questions so far on what I just covered? So those are some of the tips. There's still quite a few other tips that I'm gonna go through. Give you guys a few more tips on starting your seeds indoors. And another thing you wanna also know is most seeds, more like I said, most seed packets will give you instructions on how to plant them. It's very important to know how deep you plant the seeds. Planting the seeds according to their instructions is very important, because some seeds, if you plant them too deep, they're not gonna germinate, or they might take longer to germinate. Some seeds, if you plant them shallow, they might not do well, or they might take longer for them to do well. So you have to follow the instructions on the seeds. Most of them will tell you just cover maybe like half an inch or an inch, but you just have to follow the instructions in order for the seedlings to do well, because most of the instructions will tell you the depth of the seeds to be transplanted or to be planted in the containers or seed packets. Or on the seed packets, it should tell you how deep you should plant them. Plant the seeds on your seed starting tray. So I have a few other things that that you have to keep in mind when you're doing this too. Like I said at the beginning, you have to plan or you have to plan how you're gonna get your seedlings and when you're gonna need your seedlings. So planning is important for seedlings, because if you start them too early, for example, if I started tomatoes now, the tomatoes will go will be ready in 6 weeks. But 6 weeks is not gonna be our last frost date. Our last frost date is still about 10 weeks from now. So then the tomatoes are gonna outgrow those containers, and they're gonna be hampered by them staying in smaller containers for a longer period of time. So you need to know how soon you can plant your seeds and how soon you need them, and plan where you're gonna put them, so that way by the time they get to the stage where they're gonna be planted into the garden, there's space available for them, and the outside temperature is suitable for them to be transplanted outside. I hope I hope that's clear for somebody. If you have any question about that, just put it in the comments below. Excuse me. Let me get some water before we continue. So there a few other things that we have to consider. The light. Like I said already, like this comes with a light, but the light intensity is important. It's important because the light provides the energy for the leaves, and the leaves absorb that energy and supply the energy to the plant. So if you have your lights and the lights are not close enough to the seedlings, and then they're not gonna do as well. So you have to the lights or the grow light has to be say probably about at least 4 to 6 inches. I say 4 inches will be even better to the seedlings, so that way they get enough light. And to the time, the light you need to for seedlings like this, you need to have at least 12 hours of light for the seedlings. So usually the recommendation is 12 to 16 hours of grow light on the seedlings, for them to get enough light for them to do well. So you want to make sure that you have that. If you don't have a timer like this one comes with a timer, and you are able to this one you can set the timer to 12 hours, 6 hours, or 3 hours. So I have it on 12 hours. So 12 hours is gonna be on for 12 hours. After 12 hours it goes off and then comes back again after 12 hours. So you want to make sure that it has enough light. If you minimum that you should have on your ceilings is 8 hours. 8 hours you're risking it. So make sure if you can, make sure that it's 12 hours, provided 12 hours of light, so that way they do much better there, because they need that light. Since they are indoors, they need that light to be able to do well. You want to make sure that they have enough light. For the heat, like I said earlier, I have a heat mat down here, but for the heat, if you don't have a heat mat, you want to make sure that at least the plants have at least temperature of between 60 to 80 degrees for them to do well and thrive. Most seedlings require that temperature for them to do well. So even if you don't have a heat mat, you have it somewhere in your house where the temperature is around that 70 degrees, 75, then that's fine. It should be able to do well. If the temperature is not as high as that 60 or 70, the seedlings are not going to thrive. The seeds are not going to germinate. The ones that germinate are not going to really do well because of the temperature. And if they're too hot too, so if it's 90, 100 degrees, it's going to kill the seedlings. So the temperature is very important. Make sure that your temperature, you monitor the temperature. If you have, you're manually adjusting your thermometer or your heat and stuff like that, then you want to be careful. That's why I recommend a heat mat like this, because the heat mat just increase the temperature like 10 degrees or more from the room temperature that you have. So it doesn't really hurt it. And the dome also provide that humidity that's very important for seedlings. So make sure that you check that, and you're doing making sure that the seedlings stay nice and warm, and the humidity also is there for the seedlings to thrive. So there's a couple of different conditions, or a couple of different things that you might have. If you have leggy seedlings, you have seedlings that just continue going up long and leggy. They call them leggy seedlings. One reason might be the light is not close enough, so they are stretching to the light to get the light. So if the light is close enough and they're getting enough light, they'll be nice and healthy, like these ones over here that are just coming out. They'll be nice and healthy like that. So if they are leggy, then there's a problem. Either it's probably not getting enough light, or not have enough nutrients on the tray. But at this stage, when they're just starting out like this, most of the nutrients that they get is from the seeds themselves, and then a little bit from your mix. But most of the nutrients that plants get, from at least up to maybe when they start producing the third or fourth leaves, they get it from the seeds itself. So if anybody has any question, let me know in the comments below. If you have any questions about seed starting, about gardening, anything. Any questions? So I know we don't have a lot of time left, but I'll give you guys maybe a couple of different tips. Just a couple more tips, and then we'll be done. The first one is, if you want to speed up your germination, soak your seeds. You can soak your seeds, depending on the seeds, you can soak it for 30 minutes to 4 hours to 24 hours, depending on the seeds. So seeds like peppers and tomatoes, Peppers, you can soak them for like 6 hours, or you can do the paper towel method. That will help speed up the germination. Corn, beans, and some of these other bigger seeds, you can soak them for 12 to 24 hours before you transplant, and that would help speed up the germination process. Another tip is to speed up germination process. If you have, for example, if you're growing beans, you can do a process called scarification, where you scratch the outer. You can use a light sandpaper to just scratch the outer layer of the beans. That would help it absorb moisture much faster, and they will germinate much faster. So you can use that for like corn and beans and other bigger seeds, where you want them to easily absorb water or absorb some moisture for them, the seeds, to start germinating. Let me see if there's any question before I continue. Okay. Okay, no questions over here. So another tip is you can use cinnamon. If you have fungi, you have issues with your seedlings, you can sprinkle cinnamon around the base of the soil or around the base of the plant. It has some antifungal properties that help fight fungi and other diseases on your plant. So that can definitely help. And the last but not the least is starting seeds. Like I said earlier before, humidity. Mini greenhouse is very important because it provides humidity that the seedlings need. If you don't have a tray like this, like I said, you can use a solo cup. You can also use the solo cup, or you can use the other tray, the aluminum tray, and just use the plastic to cover it. Just use the plastic, plant your seeds in there and use the plastic to cover it. You'll be able to provide that humidity and the greenhouse effect on the seedlings, and the seedlings are gonna do much better. So I have a lot of these other tips and stuff um, on my ebook, which has a lot of these tips on how to start your seeds and various ways to get 100% germination rate on your seeds. So check my link in the bio if you're interested in more seed starting tips and ideas and other stuff for starting your seeds, so that you get them going in time and be able to get your seedlings ready for the start of the new garden season. Any questions? Like I said, this right here is an easy, no-brainer way to start your seeds, where you don't have to worry about your seedlings that much. It's a set it and forget it system. Once you set it, you don't have to worry about it. You can maybe check it once every 4 or 5 days, just to make sure that everything is going well. And like I said, it's very nice, very easy, and it's nicely put together. A lot of controls. You can control the humidity on each of them, and it has 2 lights. And like I said, it has the dome that provides that humidity on them, and it has the glow lights also that provide enough light for the seedlings to do well. It has a reservoir at the bottom that holds all the water. And so I just put it like this, and I check it maybe every 4 days, just to make sure that they have enough water underneath. You can see some of the seedlings that are coming out on these ones, and on these ones. These ones were planted a lot earlier, so they're also doing well. So like I said, if you don't want to stress too much on your seeds or getting your seedlings ready, This is something, a set that you can get, or you can do the paper towel method, or you can do the double cup method to be able to get your seedlings going. Okay, that is it for today. If you like the video, please smash the like button. If you are not following me yet, follow me for more live and more garden tips like this. And don't forget to share. Thanks, everybody.